Welcome, everybody, to our, I should know this, our Halloween City Commission work session. Tuesday, October 31st, we will call this meeting to order. I've got more Halloween people on our commission. They're dressed appropriately. I never seem to match, ever. Anyway, Jen, will you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Let me get my head together. Sorry.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. We don't have any presentations this morning, which is interesting, but we do have a time for citizen input, and this particular time for citizen input is for anything that is not already on the agenda. If it's on the agenda, you'll get the appropriate time to talk about it at that moment. So anybody wish to come forward? Seeing or hearing none, we'll move on to consent agenda. We have the approval of the minutes from September 6th, September 7th, and September 19th. We have board and committee appointments, firefighter pension trust fund board of trustees. We have a revocable license agreement with Howard Allen Events. We have the update on the Dunedin Golf Club grant agreement. And then we have an addendum number 2 for additional construction phase, professional services for lift station number 20 and 32. Are there any items to be pulled?
Yes, I would like to just make a small correction to, I believe it's the minutes on 623.
623 isn't on here.
I'm sorry, 906.
Oh, 96?
Oh, I'm sorry, approve the minutes for 9/6.
Okay.
23.
Okay, we'll pull those. All right, can I have a motion and a second to approve everything else?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Commissioner Franny and Commissioner Gal. All in sorry, anybody have any public input on these consent agenda items? Seeing or hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously, and then we'll go back to the minutes of September 6th. John, you had a correction?
Yes, really it's just for understanding. There's a part in there, and I'm trying to get to it. It's on page 23-3.
Okay, give me a second. 23, there's only 14 pages. So,
Yeah, but once you start scrolling through.
oh, I see,
It's
20,
23.
okay, gotcha, 23-3. Yep,
Okay, there's a part in here where we talk about some numbers, et cetera, and it's a little confusing, and I'm not sure if it was taken verbatim or what happened here.
okay,
There's a part in here where we talk about the per the Board of Finance, capital exceeds last year by so much money, et cetera. We then go on and we talk about how careful they want us to be and that there may be a 2% inflation rate. I think that's where they're making some quotes from me, and I just want to make sure that that's understood.
okay, are we talking about, whoa, let's see, how many paragraphs? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
If you'll look,
7 paragraphs down? Can you read the sentence that was,
yeah, if you see where it was reported that for the U.S. Federal Reserve, you see that start of a paragraph?
yep,
It says they wish to be at 2%. That's the goal, that they have a 2% inflation rate. So I don't know if that needs to be explained or not better than what it was said there.
okay.
If that's, and then there's a conversation here where it says there's definitely a high wage inflation. It's not a terribly big issue, and I just wanted to make sure it was understood by anybody that was reading it or that would read it.
Phew, excuse me. So you're saying there instead of there is definitely wage inflation, you wanted to say there is definitely high wage inflation?
Yes.
Okay. Everybody okay with those two changes?
Sure.
Oh, okay. All right, can I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Okay, Vice Mayor Twonga and Commissioner Rob Walker. All right, anybody from the public wish to speak to this? Seeing or hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you. All right, now we'll move on to action items. We have Resolution 23-27, reimbursement for the Skinner Boulevard Improvements Project and the Dunedin Golf Club Restoration Project. Jennifer, would you please read Resolution 23-27 by title only?
Yes, Resolution 23-27, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Dunedin, Florida, declaring its official intent to reimburse certain capital expenditures incurred in the connection with the acquisition, design, construction, reconstruction, and equipping of various capital projects of the city, including without limitation a golf course renovation and a streetscaping project, collectively the Skinner Boulevard Improvement Project, from one or more future issues of tax-exempt bonds or notes, providing certain other matters in connection therewith, and providing an effective date. That was Resolution 2327, read by title only.
Okay, can I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Thank you, Vice Mayor Twonga and Commissioner Gao. Thank you.
Good morning, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. Les Tyler, the Finance Director. And as mentioned, this item is Resolution 23-27 for reimbursement for Skinner Boulevard Improvement Project and the Golf Club Restoration Project. Staff anticipates expenditures for both of these projects will occur in advance of the tax-exempt loan financing. This resolution approves the reimbursement for capital expenditures for both of these projects. This resolution approves the reimbursement of these expended funds if necessary from tax-exempt debt proceeds. The estimated date of financing is probably going to be early March 2024. That's our current estimate. The source of the advance refunding for these projects is the CRA Fund and the Golf Operations Fund, which both have budgeted dollars in 2024 for both of these projects. This resolution for reimbursement does not obligate the city to issue debt. It just gives us the flexibility to reimburse if we decide to. This applies to expenditures made up to 60 days prior to the date of this resolution, so back to August 2023, August 30th, 1st, 2023, as well as expenses made after this date up to about 18 months after the date of the original expenditure was made or the date the project is placed in service. That concludes my comments, and happy to answer any questions.
Okay, any questions for Les? No? Okay. This is a public hearing. Anyone wishing to come forward and speak to this, please feel free to do so. Okay, we'll come back to the commission. Any final comments from you, Jennifer? No? Okay. Maker of the motion, Commissioner Twonga, do you have any final comments?
No, I don't, and the reason why I don't is I really sort of looked at this as a housekeeping or basically administrative issue, so
Okay.
thank you.
Commissioner Gao?
No, ma'am. No comment.
No additional comments.
Okay. All right, roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Frainie?
Aye.
Commissioner Walker?
Aye.
Commissioner Gao?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Torga?
Aye.
And Mayor Bujalski?
Aye, and that motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
All right, now we have the Florida Department of Environmental Protection $400,000 grant agreement. Thank you, Les, for the Dunedin wastewater treatment plant, ocean outfall pipe rehabilitation. Nan, welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So this is to accept a grant from the Florida Department of Environmental Protection for $400,000 to help fund the outfall pipe rehabilitation. As a little bit of a background, this pipe was installed in 1990. It's a 36-inch diameter ductile iron pipe, and it was put in with the wastewater treatment plant. It transmits any excess reclaimed water that we have. that we can't use beneficially or during wet weather or something like that out to Clearwater Harbor North. It's about 1,200 feet in length out in beyond the seagrass beds, out into the channel of the intercoastal waterway so that we get good mixing out there when we have to discharge. The proposed rehabilitation involves some heavy chain cleaning, televising, and installation of about a 3/4-inch thick cured-in-place pipe liner. This will give a lot of longevity and restore the useful life of this pipe. In 2023, the state of Florida legislature appropriated $400,000 for this project, and it was sponsored by Representative Anderson, as well as Senator Hooper's office, and I believe we have representation from their offices here today. We really appreciate their support in getting our infrastructure maintained. And let's see where I am here. And so the way that they administer these is through a grant through the Department of Environmental Protection. The grant itself, LPA 0512, has been reviewed by the city attorney for form, and staff recommends that we approve this grant.
Okay, questions for Nan? Questions? No? Nan, at one point, I know that there was pending legislation about having absolutely no discharge. Do you know what happened with that? I mean,
It's not pending, it's active legislation. It was Senate Bill 64, I believe it was 2021, that it was enacted. Don't quote me on the year for sure. We have to have all non-beneficial use out of the surface water discharges by 2032. There we go, 2032.
we knew what you meant.
It was 10 years
Yeah.
from the date that they issued it, that we had to get discharges. But that doesn't mean that zero discharge. There is an allowance for wet weather discharges, and we don't foresee a time with the types of rainfall that we see and the storms we see that we won't need some form of at least an emergency wet weather discharge. And so this keeps this piece of infrastructure in place
For those kinds of
for
things.
those types of events, despite the fact that we are trying to beneficially reuse as much of this water as possible.
Gotcha.
And we are mandated to do so by that deadline.
Okay. We do have Caroline Dixon, policy aide here. Did you want to come up and say anything? Happy Halloween. See, you're not dressed like Halloween either. See, I don't feel bad. Y'all can just, take a hike.
Can you be more specific?
No, you don't want me to be more specific. Anyway, thank you for being here and for supporting our community, and certainly pass on to Senator Hooper, who's always been a friend to Dunedin, and as well as Representative Anderson, how thankful we are for these kinds of things. We pride ourselves in the environmental stewardship of our community. One of our epic goals is to be a statewide leader in these types of things, and it's good folks like you that are helping us do that, so thank you very much. Anybody from the public wish to come forward and speak to this item? All right, seeing or hearing none, can I have a motion to approve this agreement?
So moved.
Second.
All right, Commissioner Gao and Commissioner Walker, thank you. Any final comments? Commissioner Gao?
No, I think it's a great item. I'm excited. So that's about it.
Okay, Commissioner Walker?
So I want to thank Senator Hooper and Representative Anderson's office for this, because I think it's absolutely imperative that there be resources and funding available to support these types of projects, because it's obviously important, and in the city of Dunedin, we do embrace the environmental concerns, and I think this is a wonderful thing, so thank you.
Commissioner Freeney?
Yeah, I would just add to that, thank you to both of them. And again, lately, I've been talking about basics, and to me, this is basic. I mean, keeping our environment and our water clean, and we appreciate the help from the state.
Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. You're more than welcome to stay, but you don't have to. Okay, now we have the interlocal agreement between the City of Dunedin and Pinellas County for the commitment of tax increment revenues in the City of Dunedin Community Redevelopment District. Robert.
Yes, Mayor. Bob Ironsmith, Director of Economic Development and Housing. Before you today is the interlocal agreement between the City of Dunedin and Pinellas County. I want to certainly stress that Pinellas County has been our partner in revitalizing downtown Dunedin since 1988. What this is to memorialize the city taking on debt and having the commitment from the county of their CRA TIF revenue for 3 major projects. That would be Skinner Boulevard, the property acquisition that took place at Douglas and Scotland, and additionally a midtown parking garage. I want to stress it's been a real team approach working on this interlocal, starting with the city manager, Jennifer Bramley, city attorney, Jennifer Cowan, finance director, Les Tyler, and then from my office, Jeannie Garner. So we've had a lot of people working on this actually for several weeks, if not more than a month. And we feel we're in pretty good shape here. This item would then go to the county, to their staffing. Actually, their date is this afternoon for a December 12th hearing at Pinellas County for them to go ahead and sign and approve the interlocal agreement. But the county requires an interlocal when you're looking to memorialize funding. And of course, that's what we're looking to do, is to take on some long-term debt for these major capital projects. We're at this point in time with the downtown that we need to go ahead forward with some of these major capital projects. And to do that, we need to assume debt. And when you take on debt, we need to make sure that the city's partner, Pinellas County, is on board with that. So that's what the interlocal is before you. I certainly have the finance director, Les, is here. Of course, city attorney Jennifer Cowan is here, and myself to answer any questions that you might have.
Okey doke. Jennifer, did you have any comments?
Just, Mayor, that in particular, Bob has been working really hard on this interlocal agreement, working with the county staff, working with Jennifer Cowan. So this is actually a big deal for us. It'll move forward to the county commission.
Oh, it's a big deal.
So, yeah, we're very excited about it. So well done, Bob.
Well, thank you. And I'd just like to add, too, just quantitative numbers. Having the county TIF portion at our current level, as opposed to being reduced to like half, is worth about $5.6 million. So when Jennifer Bramley says it's a big deal, yeah, this is a huge deal for us to continue to get the TIF funding, to provide for these capital projects. And downtown Dunedin has been a leader. You know, it's kind of a statewide model. The county's been a huge partner with us. They've been with us every step of the way, and this will continue that partnership.
Thank you, Bob. And I think we all agree with that. They've been a great partner.
Absolutely.
Okay, any questions for Bob? All right.
Mayor, if I may?
Sure.
Yeah, Bob, thank you for bringing this forward. I just want to make sure, at least from the public's perspective, this is, I don't want to say housekeeping, but this is just creating the framework for the potential of these projects, but this is not an approval of the projects themselves.
Yes, so the Skinner Boulevard is pretty much approved. That
Right.
project is done, and the property acquisition is already done. That is a little bit of housekeeping because we assumed the debt. Relative to the Midtown parking garage, I would be coming back, certainly with design, build, and things like that, although it is in the budget. It is approved in the budget, so I want to go ahead and make mention of that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, anybody else? All right, anybody wish to come forward from the public? Seeing or hearing none, can I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Okay, Vice Mayor Twarnga and Commissioner Franny, thank you.
If I may, Mayor,
Yes,
just
sir.
one quick comment here. On December 12th, we go to the county. We certainly can use all the support.
Yeah, if you can get that in our calendars as to what time the meeting's going to be at and all that.
Lindsay is looking that up right now, and she will put that in your
Yeah.
calendars today.
Thank you.
I
Obviously,
just
that'd be a
stuck
big
it in
day.
there, but I didn't know if it was a morning or an afternoon meeting, you know, it depends what they do, depending on which, sometimes they have both, so.
Okay.
Okay, great. All right, final comments? Vice Mayor Twarnga?
Yes, I'm really pleased how this turned out. It is complicated. It's been a long-term relationship that we've had. I know when we talked about this yesterday with Bob and with the city manager. I remember this well in 2012 when I was on the CRA
Yes.
and the concern that we had about things like this occurring, and we were concerned about this as we did our budget this year. So I think and I really want to thank Jennifer both Jennifers for the work that went into this to ensure that we're communicating effectively and in a way that addresses the county's concerns, and that we're on the right footing here, and that we're covered, and Les as well, because we have to be covered on this financing issues. That's the requirement. So this does all of that. So outstanding, just great.
I appreciate that. I just want to mention, too, one quick comment. When this sunsets, the county, we're estimating, will get $1.6 million every year. You know, part of our role was to be good stewards. We've done that, and that will be one of the things we tell them on December 12th. This is how it benefits the county.
Thank you. Commissioner Frame?
Yeah, I'm happy how this turned out as well. The county's been great partners in this. We're one of the most successful CRAs, if not the most successful CRA in the state of Florida. And so this is a great kind of capping it off prior to 2033. I almost said 1933.
I know.
Just shifted back.
Stop it.
Anyway, but I do absolutely want to thank Bob. I know this has been such a focus for you, so thanks for all the hard work you do every day for the CRA and all the achievements, and of course, the two Jennifers, or Jen and Jennifer, I think, what are we supposed to do now?
I
Jen,
don't know.
Jennifer. Anyway, appreciate all that, but fully supportive of this, and look forward to December 12th, and, hopefully a good meeting with the county.
Commissioner Walker?
Yeah, so when municipal government interaction with county, state, it's all about relationships, and you really, have established that, and the other part, probably the more important part of this, is just being good stewards, and I think 50 to 95% is well done. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Gao?
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, no, I just echo all the other comments on the dais. This is important. Can't speak more positively enough about the importance of those relationships that we have, and especially working with the county. So thank you, Bob. Thank you, Jens. That's it.
Obviously, thank you, Bob. I know you had a few sleepless nights. But my big shout out is going to Jennifer Cowan, being our rock star representative to the county.
Yes, absolutely.
I won't say anything more than that, but
Yep.
love me some strong women over there.
Okay.
And this is really critical. We've had a master plan in place, and we've done everything humanly possible, even with a pandemic and major hurricanes over the last, 6-8 years, has delayed a few things along the way. But we've done everything humanly possible to complete what we said we were going to do on paper. We are an honorable community, and we stand by what we say we're going to do. And, we don't just put a bunch of stuff on paper. We want to complete that. And we definitely thank the county for getting us where we're going to go. And we're not coming back to ask to extend this thing. We understand it's on the precipice of completion. And I also want to give a shout out to our city manager, because we are planning for that transition. And how do we take, that tax money from that CRA area and continue to invest, but on our own?
Mm-hmm.
So, I think a lot of communities, when they know that their CRA is going to sunset, they just want to keep asking for more. We're looking at it differently. We're saying we've completed our mission with the county, but we still have more work to do, and we're going to make a plan to do that, and we're doing it 10 years in advance. So to me, that makes me feel very confident about the direction the city is taking, that the respect that we have for the county and our relationship with them, that we're not, going to keep asking for more and more. We just want to finish the job that we've been given. So I'm very happy about that. Let's Let's do a roll call vote on that one.
You got it.
Commissioner Gao?
Aye.
Commissioner Walker?
Aye.
Commissioner Franny?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Torga?
Aye.
Mayor Bujalski?
Aye, and that motion passes unanimously. Okay, we have a starred item, Resolution 23-28, in support of the rights and privileges added to all nations under international law to exist as sovereign and independent nations and defend themselves against terrorist attack. In order to discuss it, we have to actually put a motion on the table to add it to the agenda. We can certainly talk about whether we're going to add it to the agenda after the motion is made. So is there a motion to add this item to the agenda?
So moved.
Okay, Vice Mayor Torga, is there a second? If there's a second, we can talk about something different, if we want something different. Okay. Commissioner Walker? Okay, so the motion is whether to place it on the agenda or not. And you're the maker of the motion, Commissioner Torga. I'll turn it over to you as to, this is only to talk about whether to place it on the agenda.
Do you want me to discuss reasons why I'm asking to have it placed on the agenda?
Yeah.
Thank you very much for that opportunity. This is a resolution that I am making to have this put on the agenda so that we can discuss it. I think it's important that we show some support that this item is going to provide to not only our government, but to the worldwide. And for us to discuss it allows not only us, but those organizations above us that, in fact, as we saw today, the county supports us. We heard today how our state government supports us, and then we heard talk about federal funds from the water side even. And so fundamentally, we're supporting them. Personally, I'll use this again perhaps. If not now, when? And if not me, who? If not us, who? So that's why I would like to have this put on the agenda. We're talking about terrorism, and we're talking about some pretty bad things happening to some people that are associated with that, and we can discuss that if we put this on the agenda, and I'll leave it at that.
Okay. Commissioner Walker, why or why not do you want to place this on the agenda?
Yeah, I second this because I do think that this bears some element of discussion. There are basically, my understanding is there's two different ways, well, there's multiple ways to approach this, but I think we're really talking about two separate proclamations. And I have some strong feelings with regards to how we should approach this, but to cut to the chase, I do believe that based on the actions of our St. Pete, the county, the Congress, I do think that we need to just have this discussion, and so that's why I seconded it.
Okay. Commissioner Franny, again, why or why not we should place this on the agenda?
Well, I didn't second it because quite honestly, when we talked before and gave consensus direction, it was for a more generic resolution. I think we had discussed, and actually I went back and looked at it. I certainly respect where the Vice Mayor's coming from, but I think I went back and looked at what we discussed before last night. And you actually said it really well as well, and I think it was a point I was trying to make is, we've not done resolutions like this on some of these international issues. We obviously condemn terrorism. We obviously condemn the acts that happened against Israel. We are very supportive of the victims that occurred. We did the same thing when we faced the issue with Ukraine. Our churches organically would do prayer groupings where our community would come out and be supportive of this thing. But we as a body have never really done specific resolutions to these things. I myself reached out to some people yesterday, advisors that I have, formal commissioners. I actually talked to a couple friends that are Jewish to see what they said, and they had two different opinions. One was, I wish everybody would do very specific resolutions in cities, and one that said, and actually the one in Dunedin was the one that said, no, you should just denounce terrorism in all forms, and then pray for the victims and be supportive. And so that's really where I was at. So, the current one to me is not what I was expecting. I was expecting, again, a resolution denouncing terrorism, which we do, and we certainly denounce it in what just occurred, and supporting the victims. And then obviously, when our churches and our communities step up and do things to support, we want to be there. So I hope I articulated that kind of well.
Okay, so what you're saying is you're not in support of adding this particular resolution to the agenda?
No, again, but it's not
Okay.
like I wouldn't do a resolution.
No, I understand.
Thank you.
I just needed to clarify. Commissioner Gao?
Thank you, Mayor. I've been uncomfortable since the 7th with this whole thing. I've really struggled. I've certainly talked with my pastor. I've talked with members of the Jewish community to try and get an understanding of where we should be or where our focus should be. I don't recall, piggybacking on Commissioner Freeney's comments, I don't remember a time when we've done a resolution, or I take that back, where the federal government has needed our resolution of support. I don't remember us doing a resolution over the Russia invasion. I don't remember us doing a resolution on any other atrocities that are occurring around. So it does bring me back to why now, why this? And I'll be the first one to tell you it is more complicated. I don't understand it. I would never try and profess that I'm an expert in the history of what's happened between the relationships between Palestine and Israel. Certainly, we denounce terrorism. The Oxford Dictionary's definition of terrorism is the unlawful use of violence and intimidation, especially against civilians in the pursuit of political aims. I can't imagine anyone who doesn't call the atrocities that occurred on October 7th acceptable or humane who isn't a terrorist. According to the CIA, throughout the world, the list includes 60-plus terrorist organizations designated by the U.S. Department of State as a foreign terrorist organization, or FTOs, as well as an additional 10 non-designated self-proclaimed branches and affiliates of the Islamic State of Iraq and ISIS as FTOs. The information they gather includes details on each group's history, goals, leadership, organization, areas of operation, tactics, weapons, size, and sources of support. There are inhumane atrocities occurring daily throughout the world, yet we are focusing on one atrocity, one time. And so it's for those reasons. For an example, Somalia. Somalia is just for years been under attack, and there's never been a comment, there's never been anything. And so I would be much more in support of this if it was more generic and more focused on just terrorism. Or actually, I'd like to flip that coin, and it's not anti-terrorism, it's just pro-peace.
Thank
Mayor.
you, Commissioner. I too have those same concerns. I did go back and look at the consensus direction that we gave, and that was to have non-identifying information in here. And that's not what we received. We were not purviewed to any of the other resolutions that have been out there, but the direction we gave was non-identifying that we did not support terrorism. It wasn't about allowing folks to exist as a sovereign nation. It wasn't about Gaza or Hamas. It was about we don't support terrorism of any kind, whether it's here or abroad. And that is not what we received. I appreciate that the county and St. Pete and whoever else wants to do things. I appreciate that, but it is more complicated. Things are changing every day. There's a request for pause. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, and I don't feel like our community should go down this road. We have a mosque in our community that I want to respect, And we have, our Jewish neighbors in our community that I want to respect. And I just don't think it's our business to get into specifics. I think our task is to talk about peace and not talking about terrorism. So this particular resolution, I am not in support of adding to our agenda. Michelle, why don't we do roll call vote?
May I make another comment?
No, because then I have to let everybody else do it.
That'd be fine.
No, no.
Mayor, just because there's been so much discussion on this, do you want to take public comment before you do a roll call?
About asking to be on the agenda?
I know
No.
it's an administrative, okay.
No. Because this is about adding an item to the agenda. I have never asked for public comment before.
Yes.
I don't want to do it now because then it's like then I have to go back and do that in the future.
It's fine. It's an administrative item. There's no doubt
Right.
about it. I was just asking.
Michelle?
Commissioner Franny?
Nay.
Commissioner Gao?
Nay.
Vice Mayor Torga?
Aye.
Commissioner Walker?
Nay.
Mayor Bujalski?
Nay, and that motion fails 4-1. I had to think about that. It fails. Right, because it's nay. Okay. We have the proposed agenda for the November 14th work session. Anybody have any feedback on that agenda? Restoration. Update on short-term rentals, that'll be good. Julie will be here for that. Julie and George,
Yes.
that'll be good. Anybody else have any other comments on the agenda? Okay.
Can I, just
Yes,
one comment? Short-term rentals, and I don't even know what it was, but we were just reading an article in New York. They're having all kind of problems with short-term rentals. So it might be interesting, too, to do some Google, because I know there are communities that are really, short-term rentals are a good thing and a bad thing, depending on how you control them, right? And in some communities, I think we're smart based on where we are, and I think some of the cities that are having issues, we would find out that we're so much better off because those vacation rentals are kind of taking over and causing so many problems. So if there's some examples of that, I just think it might be good to put it in the agenda.
One of the things I did ask for in my agenda review, too, was just, and I'm sure they were going to do this anyway, I just said I want to make sure that we're seeing, how many legal short-term rentals we have and how many illegal, where we are, so that's number one, where we are with the registration, because a lot of them don't register. And then third is where we are with the ordinance that we've given direction to, that they register by unit versus by building. So those were the things that I asked for during agenda review that I'd like to just have updates on. Anybody else have anything they want to know? Okay.
Very good. Thank you.
Okey doke. Can I have a motion to approve this, the November 14th agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Commissioner Walker and Commissioner Gao. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Okay, and then as far as our workshop item, the community brand refresh is being asked to be postponed until the November 16th regular meeting, so it'd be a Thursday night,
Yes.
okay? So can I have a motion to postpone to November 16th?
So moved.
Okay, Commissioner Gao and Commissioner Walker, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. All right, so we have informational items. We have commission discussion. I didn't receive any requests. Anybody have commissioner discussion items?
Yes.
Okay.
So I want to, my neighbor across the street, Sari Perlstein, She is doing a fundraiser for Dunedin Cares on December 2nd, 9 to 11. I don't know.
Thank you.
Sorry. I don't know if you all saw Dunedin discussions or any of the other things, but Bill Coleman, she's a big Disney fan, and she had a beautiful teacup constructed and put in her front yard. And anyway, they will be hosting from 9 to 11 on December 2nd a fundraiser to benefit Dunedin Cares, specifically picture opportunities, just in time for your Christmas pictures or perhaps your Halloween pictures next year. And anyway, I just want to put that out there. Thank you.
Great. So that's a commission comment.
Oh, was it?
You're going to have to say that all
Well, you
over
know what?
again.
Well, and just so you know, and you probably, I mean, usually when it's a discussion item, the discussion items are items that you might want some kind of consensus direction or future action on.
Well-
And usually you would email me ahead of time so I know we're going to talk about something. This is commission comment stuff.
So
So you gotta jump on us.
I withdraw this as a...
You'll get double coverage this way, you know. It took me 5 years to realize what to say during commission discussion versus commission comments.
I could have planned this better if I tried.
There you go. Okay. Well, since you're talking, do you have any other commission comments? Anything else from your liaison
This train
positions?
is derailed. No, I'm good.
You're good? All right, I'm just going to go right to you then, Commissioner Franny. I mean, I'll just stay on this side.
I wanted to announce a fundraiser. No, I'm just kidding. No, I have nothing right now, no.
Okay. Vice Mayor, any commission comments?
No, thank you.
Commissioner Gao?
No, ma'am, I'm good.
No commission comments?
Oh, comments. Oh, I'm sorry.
Comments too?
Yeah,
Boy,
I
that
said,
was
go
quick.
ahead.
Well, usually it goes discussion,
Sorry, well,
and then
I know,
city
but
clerk, city
Bob
manager.
Walker took us off the rails.
I'm sorry. Oh, well then, oh my God, where do
All
I?
right, well, let me go back here. Commission comments?
Well,
You.
yes, I have one. I mean,
Yes.
You will see, I think it's February 28th or 24th might be, is going to be opening day, spring training, hard to believe. You're going to see that put on your calendars for all us to attend. And, you know, hopefully, you know, the Blue Jays made it into playoffs this time, so they'll be headed to the World Series next year. But anyway, so
Well,
that'll.
tell them the
you'll
rest
see
of
that.
the story.
The rest of the story about the Mayor's Challenge?
You didn't say Mayor's Challenge, you said opening day.
I did, but because it's kind of late breaking, but do you want to say that? Why don't you say that?
Go
About the-
ahead.
No, it's kind of Mayor's Challenge, so.
Yeah, but
Okay,
it-
so we're doing the opening day and Mayor's Challenge the same
same
day.
time.
We'll be playing the Phillies, and we're doing the same day, and we'll have the Eddies area, so that we'll be able to invite our partners over in Clearwater. And
it'll be before their election, so Mayor Onks will be able to come. You know, we in the past, when they are in an election, it's been problematic.
Kind of wonky, yeah.
Yeah.
I knew she'd take over at
No,
some
go
point.
ahead.
That's why I was really trying to get her to do it. Yeah, no, that's it, but no,
Well,
anything else?
I'll just
Because
add-
kind of, that's like your big thing, too. So
Yeah,
I want you to,
I'll just add that, you know, we'll have the Clearwater people, we're going to ask the Clearwater people, we would like to have some Phillies leadership people join us. We're going to have the Eddies outfield instead of the suite. By doing this, we're getting rid of one of, usually we have 4 games, right? We're getting rid of one because we're combining. So we're just going to take that money and kind of make it a better event,
I like that.
and do it all together.
Do we know what game we're getting rid of, though?
I'm sorry, what?
What game we might be getting rid of?
I have
It just
no
might be a
idea.
better game.
Well,
I
it
don't
would have been a Phillies game.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
So we would have ended up with 2 Phillies games.
Oh, yeah, combine it into one.
Yeah.
Makes
And
sense.
we'll still have the directors usually have one of the suite days, you know, as a, you know, kind of a teamwork thing for them. And then we still have a third one. And if you remember last time, we actually did I think we did a thank you to the Blue Jays Advisory Committee, our Citizens Advisory Committee. And so we'll still have to think about how to use that third one. And I forget the date, we'll put the dates out, but we did pick a date for that. And, but we have to
You might
decide
wanna
how to use it.
I have an idea. I won't say it publicly, but I do have an idea.
And I've got an idea.
Okay, well, you know.
And I'll put it out
I
there.
mean,
I think it might be nice if we also do one with the Rays during the regular season. If it's in St. Pete. Rays versus Jays.
Oh, yeah.
If we all go down, I think that would be
Yeah,
nice.
that would be
that'd
fun.
cool. Yeah, that would be cool.
That would be
We
fun.
did that once, right?
I've done it before. I did it with,
Do-
we
do
did it
we-
with the chamber. That's how we did it. Like, it was kind of a cross
Yeah, we
thing.
can't do it with St. Pete, like the officials or something, you know?
I'm sure,
Yeah.
we-
I could talk to
I
Brent.
am very sure that they would,
I'll talk to,
because they're like us.
Randy
They get so
Gabbard, I
many-
mean-
You talk to
They
Brandy?
get so
I'll talk to
many
Tina.
tickets.
yeah.
I think that would be
Let me reach
fun.
out to her. That'd be kind of fun, and it'd be good for us to get to know each other a little bit. So,
Yeah, no, I think
That's
that'd be
cool.
good.
That's great.
Good
Good idea,
And what,
Commissioner.
we're also going to invite some folks from the Visit St. Pete Clearwater that I'm going to talk about in a minute as well. So I think it'll be good. There's a Phillies deal on the table, working on it, and I just think it'd be good. That Clearwater supported us heavily during our Blue Jays 4-year run, so this is just kind of a way to do the same. Okay.
I just hope we can beat the Phillies this year in
I know,
the Mayor's
Please.
Challenge,
I know.
you know?
But you know what? I don't care if we don't.
Yeah, well,
What I
I'm-
care
I'm
about
gonna-
is I want to
Yeah.
see, I want
I'm
to
gonna
see the
tell-
Jays go, I want to see the Jays go past the playoffs. That's what I care about.
I think she's talking from a very dark place of that Phillies uniform is becoming
Yes,
too
yeah.
comfortable on her.
Stop
well,
it.
she's also talking from a place of, she's not that big of a baseball person, so she just likes the, the rest of it, the fanfare.
Okay. So comments. Any comments, Commissioner, or Vice Mayor?
No.
Commissioner Gao?
Yeah, thank you. And a little bit of retro, and my apologies to everybody, but I didn't invite you earlier, but last Saturday, we had a 5K run for performing arts for the high school, and that was actually a fabulous event. A big shout out to Mike and Suzanne Menino for putting on that event. They actually did all of the heavy lifting, and so a huge shout out to them. But because of that, there's a very nice donation going to the High School Center for Performing Arts. So thank you very much for that, for all that participated and attended. And again, my apologies to the commission for not putting that on your calendar, so at least you'd have a reminder that it was there. Speaking of that, then the reminder is this Friday is Walk to School Day. If you remember, we did that a few weeks ago, but San Jose could not participate. They're doing a redo of this Friday, and I believe it is on your calendar already. And so if
It is
it's not, we'll make sure that it is.
Good.
And it would be great. I've asked the school board to attend. I've asked some county commissioners to attend. And so it's just one school, one opportunity to really show that we're behind education, we're behind safe routes to school, et cetera, et cetera. Also, we had our first meeting of the Pinellas delegation last week for all that attended.
You look great. And you did. You did good.
That was nice. You know, it was just wonderful that I did not speak. I was there to listen, to understand what the issues are, and there are some issues. But it was really nice actually to be there, acknowledging that it's the Pinellas County delegation, but there were a lot of people from the Dunedin area that spoke up about different issues. And so it was just nice to see that public engagement. But PSTA was on the agenda. And there is no bill yet, but we should have that by the second delegation meeting to look into issues on transparency within PSTA, whether or not the board should be replaced with governor appointees and things of that nature. If I can speak openly, a lot of that is being pushed by a small segment, South County, who is upset about Sunrunner. And so, to my mind, their goal, instead of getting their issues addressed, just to start a fire and burn things down, and that's kind of sad. But there was no specific details on what that bill looks like at this time, and it's being presented by Representative Cheney. And so, but she didn't have any details yet, just kind of thoughts in her mind on a concept of what that bill will look like. And so we'll get a much better idea going forward on what that'll look like, especially by the second reading, where she promised she would have the bill already filed.
Jeff, so are you talking about there'd be people designated by the state versus the local people?
Yeah,
Yes.
she wants to change the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's just the ongoing bandwagon of we hate PSTA.
Right.
And you can't hinder, here's the thing, I'm not saying PSTA is perfect, but you can't hinder an organization so much. I mean, they don't even get full county funding.
Right.
There's 5 cities that are still allowed not to give funding to PSTA.
Right.
They're capped at a ridiculously low amount of money. There's nothing they can accomplish.
Right. Right. We are the third lowest funded public transportation organization, yet we receive best in the country.
Yeah, so,
And so they do
know.
so much with so little, and yet they are beat up at every turn. And I don't think
and I'm
the
sorry,
agenda-
taxpayers are paying for it.
Right,
We're paying for Jolly Charlie. We'll be paying something for the ferry.
right, right.
This should be stuff they're paying
Right.
for that comes out of the overall
Right.
money.
Yeah, and the neighborhood that was speaking up about it, I believe the most vocal person was also maybe the person who was leading against the Green Light Pinellas initiative. And.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
And so, anyway, so that's just letting everybody know that that's out there. And so I'll bring more information later. So thank you.
Okay, thank you. Before I go on to my comments, I know I forgot other things. City clerk update, I know that Rebecca is on vacation.
Yes.
She'll be back when?
We're not sure if she's going to make it for the Thursday evening meeting, but if not Thursday evening, then
She'll be,
Friday morning.
okay, awesome. City manager update?
Thank you, Mayor. First of all, I want to congratulate the Parks and Recreation Department on a wonderful Halloween happenings. I was
heard it
there
was great.
with Vince Gizzi and Commissioner Gao accompanying us. We went around to every event, talked to the employees. It was just an amazing event. It really was. From the hayride to there was, I forget the name of it, but there was a wall in the community center, and you would have,
Oh, yeah.
attended by all volunteers, you knock on the door, a little puppet comes out and
Oh, yeah.
gives you candy.
the Zoo.
I could have stood
Yeah,
there
Boo in the Zoo.
all
Boo in the
night
Zoo.
long. What's it called?
Boo in the
Boo in the
Zoo.
Zoo.
That's been going on for decades.
Oh, well, it was the first time
This
I've seen
event
it.
is, this event has been going on for decades.
Yeah.
My little one, or my big one, when he was little, and then he worked it.
Yeah,
No, it's been going on. It is the premier, to me, young person's event.
And you know what's nice about that is, at least for me, every year it's like, oh my gosh, that is so wonderful. And then you know it's good, but that excitement at least leaves me. And so every year you go, God, this is so good. And just staff just knocks it out of the park. It
And I
just,
think they actually enjoy doing it, because it is kind of fun.
they
they're
were all
so
so
engaged.
giddy. They were
Right.
all so giddy over it. It was
I
just
know.
wonderful.
And then,
Yeah.
it's funny,
I'm sorry.
because Thomas would go to the event, then he worked as a CAT there, and then our wrestling team used to work the parking for it. It still pops up in my calendar, parking for Halloween happenings.
well, you could go and help park cars.
Yeah, no, thanks.
Yeah,
But that's how we
Yeah.
raise money, so I mean,
right.
but I'm just one person. Think about all the other kids that have done the same.
Oh, yeah.
And I guarantee you, he'll be bringing his kids to that
Big kids
event.
and little kids. Yeah, absolutely. It's just, as a community event, you stand there and watch everybody think, this is what this is all about.
It's safe, too.
The hayride, yeah.
On the,
all
and
that.
it was
It's so
downtown
safe.
trick or treating the night before, too, so, everybody's pretty darn busy around here.
Well, it's so important to have it's kind of like the thing.
Family events.
Family events that are, just safe, and it's great. Our staff
Exactly.
does an amazing job.
Yeah, and they were, as Commissioner Gao said, they were happy to be there and happy to show off what they were doing and their artistry and all their efforts. So I was very proud of them, and I'm grateful for the event.
If I could just say one more thing about that. The other piece that I really like, because I did have to miss it this year, but it was like, I saw the pictures on our
Yeah.
social media. And, with the families and the little kids, and what's the one? I think it was Mario, and one kid's in his car, and his dad's next to him. But, I mean, that's what it's about.
Yeah.
It really is.
It really
And
is.
And it's great to have the pictures get out there, too.
Yeah, it really is. I do have some sad news, though, Mayor, out of the Parks Division. We lost another employee. Yeah, Nate Kendall passed away unexpectedly on Sunday, October 29th. Some information about Nate, as far as his work family and his career here. He started as a Parks Maintenance Worker 1 in January of 2019. He was promoted to Park Maintenance Worker 2 in January of 2021. So he worked on the mowing crew. He was really proud of his work and what he did. He was extremely dependable and a model employee. He worked very well with his supervisors. He truly enjoyed landscaping. He liked working in the outdoors. And he worked all the special events with a smile on his face. He was very well liked by his coworkers and his supervisors as well. He was 34 years old. The Parks Division has been through it a bit. That since 2017, this is our third employee to pass away unexpectedly. And so, yeah, just thoughts and prayers for most certainly Nate's family, Nate Kendall, for his family, and for the Parks Division as well, in the Parks and Recreation Department. It's hard for them. I know that they're truly saddened by what's happened. And Vince will send us the information as far as services go when we have that information. So I think it would be nice to start the City Commission meeting with a moment of silence, if that's acceptable to all of you on
Sure,
Thursday.
Thursday. Yep.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Sad. Anything else?
That's it, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay, and then city attorney update, anything? No? Okay, so then I'll just do my comments real quick. Jennifer and I met with Forward Pinellas on the trail last,
Saturday?
a week ago Saturday,
Yeah,
right?
a week ago Saturday.
I know that Rob, you've been working, and everybody's worked on it at one point or another, but Rob, I know you, especially when you first came in, the issues with the trail and the safety of the trail and the collusion of bikes and people. So Jennifer and I met with Whit and, I'm sorry, I don't remember his name, another
Kyle.
person. Kyle from Forward Pinellas. This was Saturday morning of the Stone Crab Festival. We met at 10, and just at that intersection at the History Museum, the conflicts that were going on there were like crazy town. And our street wasn't closed. I didn't want to do it on a street closure day. But it was crazy. And so, and then we walked all the way down to Skinner and back, just to show all the business activity that's on there. And we're just really concerned about it all, and so we're talking to them about any number of options. This is not anything that we have funding set aside or that we've given approval at this end, so I don't mean it that, but we're looking to them for funding. Either, we would like to see that part of the trail widened. That's kind of the idea. It's a lot of money, but there's right of way.
There is, wow.
Yeah, we walked it.
There was.
And maybe make it sort of a artistic, cultural thing, but between Scotland and Skinner is way too active, and if we can widen it, we can put a separator in the middle and keep walkers and bikes separate for just that section. But if we can do it in an artistic way, you know? So, not asking anybody for anything. We're going to send a letter to see if we can get in for them to look for some funding, to see if it's even possible. We don't know. And then we wouldn't know how much money we might need. But anyway, we had that meeting.
Can I tag to that?
Sure.
I mean, totally different issue, but same issue. And because I've been talking to Jennifer about the linear park, and we've all talked about it, the linear park at,
We sent a letter there.
right, and of course, like I told her, it's all tore up right now, which would be the ideal time to widen the sidewalk. But I guess, it's very
We're trying to get
complicated
their
because of the
funding.
easements. Right, and I got a recent email that I sent to Jennifer from former Commissioner Karen Seal, who was on Forward
and
Pinellas,
who
who fought
talked to
for getting
me.
it widened. Yeah, good.
And, yeah,
So I just think it, and like she reiterated how unsafe, and she walks that
I know.
route all the time. So I just,
we are
again,
asking for the funding for that.
Yeah, I know. I told Jennifer it's going to be, we'll get the funding in 2 years, and then people will say, well, are you guys crazy? You just had it tore up 2 years ago, and you could have done it all at once. But I get it. I mean, and the easement probably is the thing that really drags it, because if we've got
Ownership. Yeah.
15 issues with different homeowners. So anyway, but I'm glad we're at least pushing it. It'd be
We are.
great if we could have solved it now when we've got it tore up, but I get it. Doesn't always work
No, and
timing-wise.
when we looked at the cost, I don't know, 6, 8 months ago, when we were looking at the cost just to widen it, I mean, I think what was saying it was $1.5 million probably. So this is not, if it was a couple hundred
That's while it's
thousand,
tore up, though.
if it was a couple hundred thousand, I think we probably would have,
I think it's the easements and the ownership that's going to take us a long time, unfortunately,
yeah.
because we had to
Right,
draft
and-
the survey and then get their consent and on, so.
Well, and we want,
It's
we
complicated.
also want, reclaimed water there because we want to do better landscaping.
Yeah, it's complicated.
That's part of it, all of it in the future. So, yeah, it's a pretty big thing.
No, it is, and I mean, I told Jennifer, historically, one of my memories from my early days with the city as a staffer was trying to do some shoreline improvements along that area,
Yeah.
and it seemed like it would be simple, but it wasn't because of the ownership issues, and it didn't happen. So, I mean, it's complicated, so I get that, so, but it's still an honorable thing, because it's conflict there
Yeah.
because of the size of the sidewalk and the bicyclists who don't want to actually be on the road,
Right.
so.
So I just wanted to let you know that that was going
Thank you
on.
for that.
There's nothing, we'll figure out the best time to bring it back with a more appropriate update, but that was just, also, I had my monthly meeting with Visit St. Pete Clearwater, Brian Loack, the new, now not interim, but permanent CEO of Visit St. Pete Clearwater, which I'm very excited about. One of the things we've been talking about over the months is that it feels like they've stopped activations in Canada, and Canada literally is our biggest international visitor, not just for us, the county. It's the largest. And so I'd been talking with them, so this month we're getting an update on the activations. Different things we're going to do in Canada to attract them here.
What are activations?
So activations might be working with, we hire contract people in Canada to go out and market trips here. That's what they call it, sorry. I talked with them a great deal about the annual Toronto trip, and that the chamber sponsors that, or hosts it, and that, and you'll appreciate this. Every year, the chair of the county commission goes on this trip to the Phillies, and we tried to figure out, okay, then should the vice mayor come with us? And it never happens. So I have tagged Brian with the responsibility to make something happen with this for next year's trip. That, if they spend this time and effort going to Philadelphia, they should be doing the same to Toronto, as well as Brian should be going, and his team, the sports people that used to go, that don't go. It's just kind of like it's all fallen off the face of the earth, and I don't like that. So he's going to work on it. He's excited about it. They did a promo with the Phillies over the summer when they went on the trip. I said I want the same thing in Toronto, where maybe their giveaway is something Visit St. Pete Clearwater. So that's also called an activation. So they're going to work on these things, and I'm going to stay on them because I just figure somebody has to. If we don't make ourselves important, they're not going to. You know what I mean?
Sure. Well,
So-
good time. With Brian being new.
I know, and
to kinda
he's
set his
all
own tone, too,
excited,
So
yeah.
that's great, yeah.
He's all excited.
Yeah, he's an energetic guy, so that's,
Right, and so also he had some numbers of Canadian visitors and where they go, but we weren't included in that. So I asked him to include us. and to look more at the Canadian visitors that come here, not just for a couple, not just for a week, but come here for months. They may own property.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, when that, we need to do something more at Visit St. Pete Clearwater to promote spring training trips. So we've just had that dialogue. I hope to get those numbers. We'll see. They're also doing a UK update as to those visitors. And of course, they have every country but Scotland. I never stop thinking about Dunedin. I just need you to know that. And now I do know that, I don't think there's a direct flight from here. And I think that's part of the reason they don't look at it. But, I said to Brian, here's the deal. What is it? Both St. Pete and Clearwater have someplace in Japan as their sister city. We have Scotland, and we actually have a reason that we have Scotland. We're a Scottish community. We have the #1 grade 2 pipe band in the country, in the world. We're going to Worlds next year, which I told them, we're doing these things. Let's talk about it. And I know there's no space on our particular trip, but should we be communicating with them in a different way as far as tourism goes? So he's going to start talking about all of that. They're doing co-op advertising, or they've put the notification that co-op advertising is out, and what that means is they have these different advertising opportunities where it wouldn't cost either a government or a 501c3 or an organization or a business as much money to do it, because they're pooling their money to do a certain type of advertising. They do it every year. And I've asked him to see what those kinds of things could look like for some of our major events. And a lot of this co-op advertising goes to people who are already here. Okay? So once people get here, you're not trying to get them here for the event. You're trying to get them while they're here. While they're visiting, hey, by the way, Mardi Gras. I see Mardi Gras as a big push there, which would be something DDMA could take advantage of. Highland Games, that's something that the Dunedin Scottish Arts Foundation could take advantage of. So I'm trying to get more information on that so that I can turn these organizations on to being able to take advantage of that. Because it's usually like $500 to $1,000, which isn't that much money when you're trying to get people to your event. I'm sure there's more. I am chairing the Forward Pinellas meeting next week, so buckle up. Janet's going to be out of town. I don't know if I told you, but I am the new vice chair of this organization.
We should all go.
Yeah.
Don't you think? When is that at?
Is there citizen input?
Right, citizen, I'm liking this.
So that'll be
When is it?
interesting.
When's it at?
Next Wednesday.
What time?
1 o'clock.
7
Wednesday
o'clock
at
in the morning.
Wednesday at 1, okay, good to
7
know.
o'clock in the morning.
It's going on my calendar.
I'm sure there's more, but I don't remember. Anyway, that's it. That's all I've got. So anything else for the good of the order?
Well, just one thing, I think Lindsay may have passed it on to you, and I'm sure I've got some colleagues up here that got a thing from Sierra Club on the fertilizer ban, a resolution.
I didn't
and,
get anything.
Well,
Did it come this morning?
yeah, it's been a couple days, and it tagged off a meeting that some of us, I think, were at. But, yeah, I just wanted to make sure that probably Natalie's looking at that, Nicole's looking at that, and we're seeing, does that jive? And, because they're looking, obviously, to get cities to do the resolution. So I just wanted to have that reviewed and staff's recommendation on that.
Okay.
Yeah, so, thank you for bringing that up, because I did meet with them. I brought Natalie to the meeting as well.
Oh, good. That's great.
And the issue is, and this has to be, and I've ask Nicole to put this as part of our legislative priorities. But last year, there was a bill before the Tallahassee, and essentially, the bill was defeated. But basically, what that did was to establish a moratorium against any future fertilizer bans, with very unclear language with regards to the cities that already have a fertilizer ban in place. And again, the bill was defeated, but there's the expectation that that bill is going to be resurrected in this upcoming year. And again, this obviously has the impact of our fertilizer ban, but it also has impact of preemption of home rule aspects. And so subsequently, I do think that that needs to be on the radar. So I appreciate you bringing that up, because and for our colleagues here, I have all the information. I haven't sent it out to anybody, but so I'll be happy to send you what was sent to me, so.
I think they were doing a study, right?
With
Weren't they doing a
with all due
study?
respect, I thought it did pass.
It did not pass.
I thought it did, and there was a year moratorium to give them the opportunity to study.
Yeah, I think they're doing some kind of study.
Right, because I think I'd asked Jennifer to look into that.
Jennifer
Yeah, I
may
need
know.
clarifications. Maybe I was not.
Well, we may be talking about two different items, so you may be speaking about a bill that was specifically regulating that area. What passed was a line in the budget bill that put a moratorium on passing anything new, and provided for a study on what existed. And that may have been in response to
Yeah,
what
so
they were trying to
actually,
pass.
that really
sense.
makes this a very interesting scenario now, because you have a line in the budget, and you have a bill that was defeated with regards to policy, so I can see why there would be a concern why this is going to come up again.
Right.
Yeah, so it's a good point.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Cool.
all right. We are adjourned.